Fabbi ayee aala Rabbi kuma tukazibaan.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri. The word tukazibaan comes from a Kazib, a person who denies the truth like a Kafir, who is also ungrateful. But there is an inner meaning of tukazibaan, which is essentially an oppressor who oppresses his own soul. Such a person can deny all the neymats of Allah SWT that are external to him. But he certainly cannot deny when he himself oppresses his own body and soul. When we let go of our health, we forget that our human body itself is a neymat from Allah SWT. The pain and suffering we inflict on our souls are the reason why we take ourselves away from the remembrance of Allah SWT and hence His presence. We put ourselves in a place of constant unrest and hence cannot achieve the ultimate gift of all, peace. This inner reflection of oppressing oneself and becoming a Kazib in this sense is perhaps the most important wrong one can commit, in my opinion. This point is highlighted in Hazrat Adam alayhi salam's dua and Hazrat Younus's dua, Surah Al Ambiya. In both these duas, what is important to note is that both prophets alayhi salam acknowledged that they had wronged themselves, i.e., their souls. And the wrongs against themselves highlighted is essentially the direct disobedience of Allah's commands which they were supposed to follow but failed to do so. The lesson to be learnt here is that Allah's commandments are essentially of two types: doing good deeds and avoiding bad habits. We are very quick to perform the good deeds, be it Salah, fasting, or giving charity. But giving up our bad habits is very difficult. In my opinion, and only Allah knows best, the mizan of bad habits may hold more weight than that of good deeds on the Day of Judgment. The reason being that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's first and foremost requirement from us to come into the fold of Islam is to first negate all the false gods and get rid of them by saying La ilaha, and only then acknowledge and take in His nur, the affirmation, by saying Illallah. The latter cannot happen without the former. Imagine how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so well versed with our nature. He does not word the kalima in such a way that we first acknowledge and show allegiance to Him. Instead, He wants us to come to Him only after cleansing our souls, tazkiyah nafs. There is another deep element of gratitude that can be attached to Fabbi ayee aala Rabbi kuma tukazibaan, something which often goes missing that we do not give shukr for. This form of gratitude is well described in a famous hadith in Sahih Bukhari number 1149, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked Hazrat Bilal raziyallahu anhum of what good deed he had done for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to have heard his Bilal footsteps ahead of him sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he went on Miraj. Hazrat Bilal raziyallahu anhu mentioned that when he would wake up for Fajr prayers and after performing wudu, he would recite 2 rakah nafil as shukr for the ability to say the prayers. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the tawfiq, the ability Allah gives to do something, to do that. There is a huge lesson to be learned from this. We often give gratitude for so many things, but when things don't go our way, we show disappointment in the outcome of our affairs. To give gratitude in the manner Hazrat Bilal Raziyallahu Anhum did, and to earn such a high status in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that made him go ahead of even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, shows that we will never be disappointed in our outcomes. For example, I may be craving for a nice steak to be served to me for dinner, and it may have even been ordered for me, so I would be expecting to eat it after returning from work. But for some reason, it could not be delivered due to shortage of availability, and the only thing available was lentil soup. In a state of gratitude practiced by Hazrat Bilal Raziyallahu Anhum, in such a situation, I should be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for having given me the tawfiq to be mindful that what a blessing it is indeed to even get my meal at night. Doesn't matter what it was. This Ramzan, as I am about to open my fast, let me ponder on the concept of gratitude from the perspective of tawfiq. The fact that Allah would allow me to eat with my hands and not being dependent on anyone to feed me is yet another blessing. And the ability to even digest my food is also such a great blessing in itself. Doesn't matter if it was a steak or lentil soup. This element of tawfiq would keep me in check and balance and counters any disappointment that may come my way, as I would constantly remind myself of showing gratitude every step of the way. Fabbi, ayee, aala, Rabbi, kuma, tukazibaan. Thank you for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you found this reflection on Surah Rahman meaningful, please like and share with those who may benefit, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. May Allah's rahmah and barakah be with you and your loved ones this Ramzan and always. Ameen. Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Zal Jalali wal Ikram.